4, and he says, "In 1,000 ways he smoothed the path for me of knowledge." And he is talking about Waldman. And so he is really getting down to the nitty-gritty. And starts thinking about some of these aspects and phenomena that he has been studying. And he wants again to find the secrets of life and death. And he says, and this is just a couple of pages into chapter 4, "To examine the causes of life, we must first have recourse to death. I became acquainted with the science of anatomy." And then he goes on to say, "In my education, my father had taken the greatest precautions that my mind should be impressed with no supernatural horrors." So even though people classify this as a horror story, it's not about supernatural horrors. It's not a supernatural tale. Not really, not at all. And so he dives into this and he immerses himself in it. And then just down at the end of the paragraph that I was just reading from, "I paused, examining and analyzing all the minutiae of causation as exemplified in the change from life to death and death to life, until in the midst of this darkness, a sudden light broke in upon me, a light so brilliant and wondrous, yet so simple, that while I became dizzy with the immensity of the prospect it is illustrated, I was surprised that among so many men of genius who had directed their inquiries towards the same science, that I alone should be reserved to discover so astonishing a secret." And first of all, I want to comment on the symbol of light there. He says a light broke upon him. Light is synonymous with knowledge, and dark is kind of synonymous with ignorance. I was going to say stupidity, but stupidity and ignorance are different. So there is a time-worn, that is a time-worn symbol, I should say. And then he also goes back to his destiny because he says, "I alone should be reserved." These other geniuses couldn't figure this out because Victor is special in his eyes. He has been chosen to receive this information, but he doesn't seem to stop and think about who or what has chosen him to be special. And so he says, "After days and nights of incredible labor and fatigue, I succeeded in discovering the cause of generation and life." And so he knows how to bring dead things back to light. And so he begins then his even more experiments. Now, it is in this chapter that Victor begins to use words like painful labor, fatigue, and it's all about then the male mother aspect. And Mary Shelley writes about this whole sections where Victor is giving birth to the creature. They all have to do with childbirth. He is sequestered. He locks himself away. It talks about labor, etc., etc. And so what Victor is basically doing is usurping the I don't want to say right, but women give birth. And regardless of this, this guy, this man who gave birth, he was a woman first. It is the prerogative of a woman to give birth. That is what nature has said in this book. Even though Mary Shelley never expressly says it, that's pretty much what she is saying. And so Victor, by giving birth to this creature, not only is he extremely hubristic from the point of view of breaking nature down and being reserved for this, he is overstepping his boundaries as a man and also by a human, because who is it that instills life into the clay? In all mythologies, it is the gods. It is the deities. So he's treading on a whole bunch of things. So in that, he also says, going back to the hubris, Victor says, "I'm doing this because I want to benefit humankind." He would have said mankind, but I'm too PC. I'm going to overcome death, and my mother, wouldn't have died if I could have done this. But then he says, life and death appeared to me ideal bounds, which I should first break through and pour a torrent of light, knowledge, into our dark world. A new species would bless me as its creator and source. Many happy and excellent natures would owe their being to me. No father could claim the gratitude of his child so completely as I should deserve theirs. Victor has crossed over from wanting to benefit humankind to wanting to benefit Victor. Victor wants the praise. He wants the glory. He wants to look out and see his many children and have them say, thank you, Daddy. Thank you for bringing me to life. And that is pure hubris. What can I say? I'm going to stop there because I'm going to put some things on the discussion board that I want you to talk about. But I particularly want you to pay attention to the rest of chapter 4.